I want to talk about this AI rapper named FN Meka that made headlines the last several days. Just a little bit of background on this rapper. He was created by Brandon Lay through his company called Factory New. So Brandon Lay founded his company called Factory New and created the AI rapper named FN Meka. There's also been disputes with this rapper named Kyle the Hooligan. That Kyle the Hooligan is claiming that he was the original voice of FN Meka. That he was the original voice, and what happened was once Brandon Lay recorded his voice, he started making lyrics by himself for rap songs and whatnot for FN Meka. That they were able to record the voice and they use AI just to generate rap lyrics and all this other stuff that they didn't need him. So they used his voice, and Kyle the Hooligan's claiming that Brandon Lay lied to him and promised him that he would give him some equity and some stake in the character FN Meka. Like once he got signed by Capitol Records, that's what he was claiming at the time. So there's been that dispute between the two. It also was backed by Anthony Martini, who was Brandon Lay's business partner. So Anthony Martini backed FN Meka, the creation, I guess, by just putting more money into it when he joined the company a few years back. From what I've read now, he's claiming he didn't know that Brandon Lay had promised Kyle the Hooligan equity and all this other stuff, and he's trying to distance himself away from this mess. So he's trying to say the right things. He even said he reached out to Kyle to apologize for what happened, and that Brandon, should reach out to him. So there's a little back and forth between those guys going on. But Anthony Martini's now taking himself off of this project. So that's a little bit of the background. And also what made it controversial was Capitol Records signed this AI rapper named FN Meka, signed him, but then had to drop him because there was a lot of backlash and outrage since FN Meka had a rap song with like the N-bomb in there. So it offended black people because they felt that it was digital blackface, that they were using this rapper to say the N-bomb and shouldn't be able to do that since it's actually not a black rapper, since it's not real. It's an AI rapper. So that was a controversy. So I want to read this quote here by this group called Industry Blackout, which is a activist group for black music artists, I believe. They were outraged by it, and they said, "We find fault in the lack of awareness and how offensive this character is. It is a direct insult to the black community and our culture, an amalgamation of gross stereotypes, appropriate mannerisms that derive from black artists, complete with slurs infused in lyrics." So that's interesting. Definitely find that interesting. So Capitol Records dropped FN Meka due to controversy. So I just want to divulge just that quote by that group, that activist group that said all that stuff about FN Meka. Yeah, they're right about the stereotypes of being insulting. I can definitely see where they're coming from. But if we're keeping it real and keeping it 100, I've always felt rap for the last 20 some years has been an insult to the black community, but none of them have complained about it, to be honest. I think rap represents the worst stereotypes of the black community. But you don't see anybody asking to remove these black rappers from saying that something. And no, I'm not saying that white people should have the right to say the N-word. I'm not saying that. So if you think what I'm saying is that's incorrect, I'm just saying you've never seen outrage when these guys send toxic messages, represent toxic stereotypes about the black community. But now when this AI rapper does it, it's insulting when it's not that much different. Granted, it's not real, but it's not that much different. So I found the irony in it. Also, if you look at FN Meka, he looks very ambiguous racially. He could be a white guy, but he could also be a black guy. You just can't tell by the way he looks. So that's another thing, him being ambiguous, that it's hard to tell. So I want to go more into detail of this in the sense that Capitol Records dropped him because they didn't want to take the heat, the backlash that would come with it. But I also believe this is not the end of AI rappers. I think this is going to usher in a new era of AI rappers. This was just the first experiment. Capitol Records made some mistakes with this. They screwed up, but they'll learn from it. And these other record companies also will learn from this experience of how to avoid a backlash like this again. So I do believe that you will see more of the stuff pop up in the next 10, 15 years, that they're going to get these AI rappers. Because if you think about it, you just have to record a rapper's voice once, then you can create whatever lyrics you want. That's a lot cheaper to do. It's easier to do. And it's going to become big because you look at Gen Z and the generation that's coming after them, they're really hooked up in this digital world. So I think this is going to be the next big thing. It's going to be very easy to make a lot of money off of this because you can just pump out songs left and right, just 24/7. You can build these characters, and it's very low maintenance. So you got to factor in there. And then there's capitalism. Just there's always a thirst for more money and greed, and this is just endless, the opportunities you can get out of this, just the merchandising, just the other stuff you can sell off of this once you create this AI rapper. Do I think they'll find a way around a backlash in the future? Absolutely. I definitely believe that they'll find a way to get around this. They may even find a way to get away with saying the N-word, as long as they can just credit a black guy for the creation of the rapper and give him some equity stake. They can get away with that stuff in the future. I definitely believe that they will. That's just my prediction. I think this is going to change the rap game for sure. Will there still be music concerts? Yes, I definitely believe that. But I think these AI rappers are going to be huge in 10, 15 years, give or take. I definitely believe that. Also, you just know the technology in the future is going to get better and better. Who's to say, I would say 10, 20 years from now, when people go to rap concerts, that you won't see these AI rappers performing, that you can see a giant hologram on the stage where they perform and they look real just through the hologram. That's definitely a possibility I could see happening in the future. So I think these AI rappers are going to be here to stay, and they're going to get even better at creating them, and they're going to look even more realistic, that you won't be able to tell the difference in due time once they perfect this technology. So this is the beginning into a new interesting frontier, I believe. This is just the starting point about it historically. That's the way I look at this. So let me know what you think.